We play.
We fight.
We conquer.
Welcome back to the Freak Show, where our one rule is for the Emperor. I am your host today, Bumpy McSquigums. We are continuing with our beta coverage, whatever it is, of Warhammer 40k Rogue Traitor. And we're in the midst of conversation with the current rogue traitor, Theodora von Valencius. A bunch of other names. And we're going to continue with that. So, what are my current responsibilities? Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Adelthred. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide. Gracious Lord Captain, surely there are ways I can prove myself a worthy heir. Feels a little butt-kissy. We're going to avoid the brown nosery. I have no more questions. That's a terrible, terrible phrase, by the way. Do you think about the connotations of brown nosing and what that means? It's disturbing that that's such a, like, it's so like that's a thing that so many people say and they don't think about the meaning. That's creepy. Anyway, moving on. Sorry to draw your attention to that. I have no more questions. In that case, I shall head to Theodora's Vox awakens once more. This time you pick up shouting. The Lord Captain freezes, listening to the Vox cast, then nods and draws her weapon. Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. She glances at you. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated. Oh no! See the little side things? Oh, it's so cool. I like these little details. Like the servitor head thing is floating around. Alright, we're horribly outnumbered, and they're terrible shots, apparently. Did you just see how many times they shot at us and missed? I did. There was a lot. Alright, we have been ambushed. The battle begins. Kill them. Alright, Abelard's gonna go and hurt some people. Badly, by the way. Alright, and we got Mort, who just melted some guys. And now the Stormtrooper school of heretic cultists are oh no, that one hit. So they're gonna do a series of misses. Wow, I'm not supposed to get shot. Alright, use cover to avoid enemy attacks. Covers to hide behind are marked with a shield or a shield with a skull. Standing close to them, the character will automatically take an advantageous position. In this case, the chance that the enemy attacks with cover, not the character behind them, increases. The character will not receive a bonus of attack from it, so don't get flanked. Got it. Wait, didn't it say that there should be shield things? That's weird. Sorry. My movement thing is it disappeared because of the pop-up, I think. Alright, well, I'm gonna go here, stupidly, by the way, and I'm gonna take a shot at this guy. But before I do that, I'm going to do this.
Suits my purposes.
I'm studying all of you, and I'm taking a shot at you, sir. 55% chance to hit. Not super high. But, who knows? Maybe we get lucky. Nope. I'm also a terrible shot. I also went to the Stormtrooper school of shooting. Watch out, Mort! Mort's just, like, standing and not caring. He's just shrugging it off.
Ugh. Pain and duty go hand in hand.
You said duty. Sorry. Alright, Theodora's murdering somebody. Oh my god. That was incredible. Speaking of incredible,
Reduced to dust.
a little bit more from Abelard. Oh, yo, he physically moved out of the wet. That's incredible. I didn't see that before. That's really cool. In a world full of deadly dangers, the help of your allies can save your life. Look closer. Your character has received a temporary positive effect from a companion. To learn more about the effect, hover over the small icon next to the character's portrait. The target of this ability gains plus 50 BS until the end of combat. Well, I mean, I guess I can talk some crap, probably. Oh, I can definitely end your face.
Suits my purpose. Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake. Hey, I got a critical hit. That deals increased damage equal to the character's critical damage stat. The character's critical damage defaults to 150% of their normal damage. However, certain talents, effects, and abilities can increase it. Each weapon has its own critical damage stat, which is then added to the character's total stat during, or value during the attack. Right. Stuff. Junk. What does this do? My war him.
Nothing I can't do.
I war him did. Just looking the other way, dodging. You shooting at Theodora? Oh, that's a mistake right there. Speaking of mistakes, you just stepped away from him and got decapitated. That's not great for you. Theodora says, "Good day, sir." Abelard says, "I got this." And then Mort's gonna finish off somebody too, right?
Of the Imperium!
The Melta action. Well, limbs everywhere, dead bodies, blood oozing. It's a pretty gross place right now. Theodore waves her hand in a commanding gesture. Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single horseman survive. Who knew there were so many sons of horses out here? The rogue traitor turns her eyes to you. Didn't bat an eye when the scum burst onto the deck, Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security makes them much more susceptible to the harsh realities of warp transitions. She looks at the box in her hand. All you can hear is lifeless static. Oh, the incident with the beast on the officer's deck may be connected to what's transpiring now. Possibly. Quite likely. Theodora winces and flicks a switch on her Vox a few times. We will investigate at a later time. Right now, we need to isolate the affected compartments and try to assess the situation. What exactly is happening? From what we have seen, Bob Bobbington III, I can speculate that we are dealing with some variety of warp madness. The Seneschal is astonishingly calm for someone who just survived a sudden attack. Such episodes are not uncommon amongst Voidmen who have found themselves outside the boundaries of real space, though such episodes seldom spill onto other decks. Thanks, Abelard. Theodora clicks her Vox a few times. The casters are not working, or have been sabotaged. Either the warp is toying with us, or someone went to great lengths to cut the ship's communications. I will need a direct channel to the chief engine seer before I can get a sense of what we are up against. Whatever it may be, keep your weapons at the ready. I imagine it will be some time before we no longer need them. A tech priest whose specialization is the maintenance and repair of sacred machines. How could there be armed people in the ranks of the crew who would dare attack the Lord Captain? The Seneschal gives you a gloomy look. Trust me, Bob Bobbington III, this is hardly surprising for a crew of thousands. The lower decks are a fertile environment for discontent and heresy, no matter how one tries to incinerate any seed before it can take root. All it takes is a hint of warp influence to cloud the minds of normally obedient cattle. Sporadic riots in the lower decks never reach these compartments. Theodora's anger causes the Seneschal to shrink slightly. No, the tumults of the rabble are always contained within their own territory. This is too well organized. It is spreading too rapidly. What are your orders? She breaks eye contact with you. Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. You want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the arch-militant requires aid. And be quick about it. Yes, Captain, my captain. We can do that. All right. Now, if you're ever wondering, like, the stuff that pops up there, I was a little annoyed that it's too fast to read. If you hit J, it actually brings that stuff right back up here. Find the arch-militant. The officer's deck is under attack by an unknown enemy, so arch-militant Mort has left to clear a way to the elevator leading to the upper decks. The officer hasn't returned yet, so it's time to find out what's caused the delays. And then we could stand here and read all this stuff if we wanted to. To know the right, we'll have to look into Logisticar's reports, and we need to understand what happened to the decks during the warp jump and preparations preceding it. Alright. So we're going to go wander around real quick. See some terrifyingly scary things. Dude just ran in and kamikaze blew up on stuff. It's not not fantastic. And you see a lot of shooting from the upper decks to the lower decks. And even our cross on in. We come over here. There's a breakthrough. Attempt. Crew to arms. Alright, so they're charging on in. One dude shooting into me for some reason. It's probably fine. Recapture the... Oh. Well, we're just going to move along and ignore all that. I don't know if there's anything special about this side, but about to meet Mort over here. It's going to be great. What's up, Mort? Take care of that guy. That guy's down. It's our boy. Kunrad Voigtavir lets out a sigh of relief upon seeing you. Thank Providence you are alive and well. Always on time, eh, Kunrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up, always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it. Kunrad pointedly looks away from the arch-militant to you. Mort, pull yourself together. The arch-militant looks back at you. What did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We are all done here. I'll report right away. Mort pulls his Vox from his belt and hurriedly reports the situation. Hey, everybody's grouping up. It's starting to feel uncomfortable. That's okay. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The VoxNet is silent. The Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on his way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report! VoxNet. A piece of technology used to communicate over short distances or to record sound. So essentially like a walkie-talkie with recording capabilities. I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Geller field failures. The communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only Vox casts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. Voigtavir pauses. The madmen have already reached the officers' decks. That they have reached it suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. A mutiny? But who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp? A mutiny against the Emperor's anointed? Execute the traitors, every last one of them. We must provide immediate assistance to those on the middle decks. Perhaps we might stop this wave from spreading. If this is indeed a severe case of warp madness, then the situation is dire. A mutiny against the Emperor's anointed? Execute the traitors, every last one of them. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure, and I have the means to do both things at once. Our expression changes as our eyes flash ominously. Theodora looks at Voigtavir. Adelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I try to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18. Blast it. Master of Whispers, find Adelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlass and the Sister of Battle. Yeah! Both are to remain at my side. Arch-militant, with me. I must go to my study, and it appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Bob Bobbington III. Theodora glances at you thoughtfully. If I may, Lord Captain? Voigtavir's voice is soft and cautious. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Adelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I am not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed arch-militant. And taking into consideration Adelthrad's psyker powers, by the whereabouts of the heir Adelthrad. Then it is settled. Bob Bobbington III find Adelthrad and return here in any state. This elevator, she points out the massive doors, leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? In any state, what does that mean? I hear and obey, Lord Captain. I shall do everything in my power. I cannot promise that I won't lose our dearest heir somewhere along the way. I hear and obey, Captain. Theodora waves a hand impatiently. Then move out. Mort, come. Alright. Let's go see a man about a horse. Son. No? Okay. Voigtveer gives you a nod. Are you ready to head 18? That is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear. I shall make do lead the way. I have a proposition. Since I am more important person here, you can go in front to shield me from potential threats. You had better not fail me. The Lord Captain made it clear that relying on you is fraught with risk. Yeah, we're gonna go with 3. Fraught with risk. He pales at your words, but you cannot tell if it's because of shame or fury. I see you have quickly earned Lady Theodora's trust if she is already sharing her closely guarded secrets with you. But that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable gut-wrenching pain. Yeah, I called this from day one. I didn't this time because it felt unfair, but I mean, I already knew this was going to happen. But I did call it in my first video when I had no microphone. My voice didn't come through. That was super fun. Yeah, so he punched us there, but I want to think in my mind that he hit us like a taser. I promised you a special destiny, Bob Bobbington III. It is time to fulfill it. Healing hands. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing. So yeah, good old Voigtveer is he's our vile betrayer. I know. I too am sad. The Master of Whispers turned on his mistress of trade, I guess. I don't know, whatever. The trade rogue trader. It's fine. Any key to continue? I pressed a key. We're continuing. Ow! That was in my midsection area. Alright, careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the warrant chamber. And for that I need him breathing. Voigtveer looks down at you. You're back with us, I see. Delightful. Voigtveer, you two-faced scum. You are the one behind this mayhem. Yeah, obviously, man. Oh, how very perceptive of you, Bob Bobbington III. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the warrant chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power, the sacred warrant of trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. Now, I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel. What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel? I like it. I'm going to go with that one. Oh, on the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, von Valencius. The Sentinel refuses to submit to me, but you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for? Why are you doing this? I mean, that's pretty obvious. I have no intention of helping you. Probably. I will help you as long as you spare my life. Will you let me join you? We can take the warrant from Theodora together. I have no intention of helping you. Well, I'm afraid that you, Bob Bobbington III of von Valencius, have no choice in the matter. Voigtveer produces a strange object, a blade without a handle that shimmers blue in the light. Try to resist, and I will demonstrate the power that the warp holds over mortals. Come to think of it, I might even take some pleasure in doing so. To the void with you. I will do as you require, but I will find a way to make you pay for this, you filth. To the void with you. Skill checks and dialogues. Your character's skills affect results of their actions. A successful skill check can reveal new information and additional lines in dialogue, as well as influence further events. Skill checks use the character from the party with the highest applicable ability. Got it. The blade flashes in the dim light and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment, you feel nauseous. Your head is spinning. Then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Fight the voice in your head. Get out. I'm not your puppet. I will do as you require, but I will need to filth. Okay, enough threats. Imply. Willpower. I'm fighting the voices. Hey, I succeeded. The voices in your head persist in their demands, yet you feel yet you feel this unseen chorus momentarily waver under the strength of your resolve, until the intruding influences forces you to your feet and pushes you toward the gates looming in the center of the chamber. Well, I succeeded, but somehow also failed. Cool. I mean, not really cool. Like how I did like extra wide stance walking up the stairs there. It's good times. In the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. There is a servitor, an obedient automaton, created from a lobotomized human being. Oh, lovely. The sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eyes sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. I will use tech to examine the device. Nope. You look over to the gate cogitator. Yep. There is little chance you are able to discern anything about its design. Like any other sacred machine in the Imperium, this relic is the specialty of the machine cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The servitor at the gate begins to move with a screeching and groaning of metal. It leans forward closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than a jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp, metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voigtavir wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Look for anything that can be used as a weapon. Let's do that one. Look around in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. An area, a broken panel, or a protruding piece of rebar in sight. Look back. Did you forget something, Bob Bobbington III? I suggest you hurry. Examine the sentinel. Servitor looks noticeably different from the ones that you're used to. Copper thread stitches its skin. The joints are replaced by metal hinges. It seems that the creators of this sentinel did everything so that the result of their work could serve much longer than any ordinary working automatons. Okay, gotta put my hand in its mouth. Yay. The sentinel's jaw clamps around your hand, puncturing the skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass, the sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened. Levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance? You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from. Crackling like static. Is it the sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Who is this? Yes, I do require assistance. I suppose this is the onset of warp madness they warned me about. Yes, I do require assistance. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It would seem the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm. Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol. Oh. Oh, I like this. Well, there is still another way. Huh. Okay. Yeah, no, sure, that's fine. That seems totally okay. What is this? Old wound. An injury which wasn't healed in time can be healed by a med kit, but it will require an additional Medicaid skill check. Too many injuries reduce resolve and cause trauma. Well, that's the thing that happened. The enormous gates match the importance of the thing they protect. The massive doors are made of heavy metal and look impregnable. I don't think I should be in here. Like, I know I opened the gate. I know I opened the gate. Can I close the gate? I mean, I know the game is kind of forcing me into it, but like, knowing how everybody's like super upset about everything all of the time, I feel like the only smart thing would be like, nope, close the gate, run back down, and record on what just happened. Instead of like wandering into this to seize the warrant or whatever. Also, that dude didn't like teleport out. I don't know. Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of the warrant of trade. Oh, it's too fast. And to be the paragon of humanity, walks to triumph stuff. I hate auto-advancing text. Why do people do this? There's no reason for it. Okay, the servo skulls creaking gradually turns into incomprehensible word. Escort the child of the house to safety. What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addressed me? I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora. I need a weapon. I am utterly defenseless. Who are you who addressed me? Temporary what? Obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the warrant sentinel standing by. Are you the warrant sentinel? Mobile unit of the warrant sentinel designed as a personal escort to the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by. I need a weapon. Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal, initiating situational calculations. The servo skull goes silent. It replaces clicking. Second after second passes and you realize the servo skull will not answer you. I need contact with someone, preferably Theodora. Vox cast frequency is disrupted, initiating setup, establishing connection. In place of the mechanical screeching, the servo skull's Vox projects the voice of Theodora von Valencius, distorted and ridden with static yet still recognizable beyond a doubt. Vox Master, restore communication with the navigator's sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head. Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection. Lead me away from here. Middle and upper decks, assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units, calculating. The servo skull twitches and makes a few clicks. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured. Okay. That means I should get out of here, right? Hold on, can I read this again? Let me bearer of the warrant and trade bestowed upon them the dynasty of the great mission. To be the paragon of humanity, walk bravely in darkness, so you reclaim and unite what was lost, triumph the untold nightmares, bold faith through the greatness, walk steady of the road of thorns. Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Like, just don't auto-advance text, guys. And if you do, make it super, super long. Alright, I'll seal the warrant chamber again. Oh, nice. Nobody must reach it. Okay. Seneschal Abelard Wursarian has lost some of his former polish. His forehead is sweating, and one of the sleeves of his coat is torn and soaked through with blood. Nonetheless, despite his heavy breathing, he stands firm and His gaze is demanding, albeit somewhat surprised. Master Bob Bobbington III! Whatever were you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... He surveys the carnage around him, his brow furrows, and he places his hand on his weapon. Throne preserve me. What is the meaning of this? Throne? An arcane cybernetic artifact that encases God Emperor's physical form remains entire. And preserve them until... or using stasis fields and psi fusion reactors. Kunrad Voigtavir is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here. The Seneschal's eyes widened. What? He intended to take revenge on Theodora for an old grudge and become the rogue traitor himself. He spoke about filing the warrant with some ritual and serving the gods of the warp. That's true. We'll go with 2. Serving gods of the warp? Dunrad is a heretic? Oh, Voigtavir, you void rat. Abelard shakes his head. Madness. His mutiny is likewise his doing, no doubt. Voigtavir openly admitted that he is the mastermind behind the mutiny. So it would seem, but he is not here, and we have a mutiny to end. Why don't we leave the matters of etiquette for another time? Ramir Seneschal, you're asking too many questions. Voigtavir openly admitted. Grox seed. Alright, what is a Grox? A large... Stab it. A large half-domesticated reptile widespread in the Imperium. Grox are most commonly bred as livestock or beasts of burden. The more you know. And it is a small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal all passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive and now safe, Master Bob Bobbington III. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. Abelard examines you critically. You're in a bad way, Bob Bobbington III. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicae kit with me. And for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without a means of self-defense. Here, he hands you a weapon. Ooh, I got a sniper rifle, armored body glove, that's creepy, and Medikit. Hey, we got paused stuff going on. After falling into a trap or receiving damage that exceeds 50% of their total wounds within one round, the character receives injuries. Injuries reduce the character's stats, and if 3 or more injuries accumulate, the character will get trauma instead of a stack of injuries. The number of injuries that cause trauma may vary depending on the difficulty of the game you choose. Also, character gets trauma if they completely lose health in battle. Traumas reduce the character's stats, grant an additional negative effect. If fresh injuries are not treated within 5 rounds, they will become old injuries. Use a medikit to restore wounds and heal injuries in and out of combat. After the combat, the wounds of all members of the party are restored automatically, but the received injuries remain. They can only be cured with the use of a medikit. Old injuries can also be removed with a medikit, but require an additional Medicae check. Traumas can only be healed in the rogue trader's quarters of the void ship. You receive new items. Open with I, the bag, the screen on the right. Okay. Weapons, armor, and other items can be equipped. Medikit can be used to replenish wounds and heal injuries. Got it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to do all this stuff in the very next episode. And again, it might be one more episode. I think we're getting to the point where one more episode we'll actually get to see enough combat, and we've already kind of gone through most of the opening story, so we have a pretty rough idea what's going on with everything at this point. Very interesting. Very, very eager to play. I'm very eager. I want to play more. But again, I'm gonna have to kind of pull back my enthusiasm a little bit and not play too much until the game comes out in just a couple of weeks. So anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you stick around and watch the entirety of my little mini-series and the beta test here, and that you'll get a chance to check out the full series once the game launches, and you'll get a chance to play the game yourselves. Anyway, folks, till the very next episode, I've been your host, Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show. We play, we fight, we conquer.